Okay, so circuit number 5, we're going to start with the quick instructions first. So the first exercise is a stationary lunge. So she's actually, let's switch the weight here, set up for a little lighter for a different exercise. So she's using 40 pounds here. She's doing a stationary lunge. So she's going to go back to a lunge position and hold that position and then do one arm row, which is called a low row here because it's starting low obviously, so slightly different muscles working in the upper back, a little different angle. Give me one more, and then she's going to switch to the other side, and her legs are still working. It's not really an active movement, but she's holding the contraction, so they are working quite a bit, and then she's just doing the row here. Okay, perfect, Courtney, come on up. Beautiful. Okay. So next exercise, side lunge, holding the bar overhead. So this puts a little bit more stress, or in a good way, on the core muscles because she has to hold that upright position. And she's going to do an alternating side lunge. So she's going to come all the way down on one side and then alternate. Watch her upper body. She has really nice core support. She's not leaning forward too much. Just a slightly arched lower back. Perfect. Give me one more, Courtney. And this is a 12-pound. Good. This is a 12-pound weight. Again, you can use, somewhere between 8 and 15, depending, or maybe even 20 for guys. But you don't want to use too much weight on this one. It's really more about holding the position, and it's pretty hard. So it also will not allow you, the weight is too heavy, it will not allow you to go all the way down with your legs unless you're super flexible. So again, be smart about choosing the weight for this particular exercise. The third exercise is pretty difficult. This is a holding plank with a one-arm row. So it's actually more like it's a row, but it really ends up being from overhead position because she's in that plank, so it's parallel to the floor. She's going to hold the plank using all her muscles, okay, especially a lot of core here, and then she's still going to work the upper back and shoulders to support herself as well as to pull on the other side. So try to keep the position perfect, to lift yourself up really high through here, beautiful, touch down. 3, give me one more on this side, and then you're going to switch, and then go ahead and switch, and then here we're just going to have to just quickly switch, perfect, and then just one more, beautiful. And it's very hard to hold the position super parallel, but you should try as much as you can. There's always a tiny bit of rotation, but as long as you're feeling the muscle on the side where the arm is lifted, you really want to feel the muscles of your obliques on the side of your abs. The more you bring that hip down, the more you're going to feel these muscles. So try to counteract, by contracting your obliques, counteract the tendency to lift the hip up. So fourth exercise is a combination of hip thrust, so an exercise for the tush, okay? And so you're lifting your butt up, and then she's going to move it forward and push, do a push press. So it's sort of like a modified chest press. Drop your tush as low as you can, perfect lift. She's nicely supported through her upper back and head on the ball. She's dropping it down. Now this is pretty heavy because your hips, your glutes are pretty strong. Her chest is actually, muscles by now are pretty strong. So she's lifting 35 pounds here. Give me one more, Courtney, and then we're going to finish here on this one. And then one more up, so perfect. Okay, so this is 35 pounds. You may have to start with a little lower weight so you feel comfortable. It's actually the switching between one position to the next that's a little bit harder. But the exercise itself, if you have the balance and if you worked on the ball before and you have core that can support you, it's actually not that difficult. The last exercise in the circuit, she's going to do what I call a cross back lunge. So it's a diagonal lunge back, and then shoulder press on the same side. So go ahead, she's turning it in, or rather out from the in position. Good, just make sure you watch your knee as you come back. So yeah, full lunge, and give me one more. Perfect, she's holding her upper body pretty straight, beautiful, and then doing a press. Perfect. So as you do that movement with the press, just make sure you're not swiveling from side to side too much. Keep that trunk pretty straight, so there are no problems with the spine and any issues or any complications from this movement under a lot of load, under weight. She's using about 12 pounds here. Again, Courtney's pretty strong, but she's only going to do 6 on each side, so she can, like I mentioned in the introduction to the videos, she's using a little bit heavier weight than she would normally use in most workouts, since the circuits are a little bit shorter repetitions. starting the 5th circuit, and Courtney's going to start right with the one leg, the stationary lunge, followed by, immediately to a row. She's holding that lunge position, doing a one-arm row, so her legs are actually working pretty hard just to hold the position. Again, she's using 40 pounds here. It's a pretty good weight for her. Perfect. And switch sides. So she's going to switch here to the other side. You want to pull on the same side as the leg that's behind, just so that you don't hit the knee in front. 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and we're going to follow it by an overhead bar side lunge, and she's alternating movements here. Good. And I'm going to have her do 6 on each side so that we have a nice full circuit. So it's 3, 4, 5, and 1 more, right? Do I have right hand here? 1 more. Okay, 1 more to go. Okay, perfect. Okay, mine is counting. Okay, from here she's going to go straight to the plank position right here. So it's a row in the plank position. But pretty hard exercise, as I mentioned before. She's going to hold a perfect plank with the row. You want to be a little forward, good. So you have a little bit of switching of positions, but you should try to do it as quickly as you can. Perfect. 3, nice hold, Courtney. 4, 5, 6, and then I'm going to switch to the other side. Beautiful. She's coming up on that arm, stabilizing nicely. Hold the butt down. Beautiful. 2 and 3, 4, 5, and 6. Perfect. Good. And we're going to come up to the hip thrust on the wall. Here we go. 6 times each. And push, press, beautiful. And up. As you notice, she's holding her feet pretty much hip width apart. She can bring them a little closer, but you don't want to hold them wide. A lot of people hold their feet really wide because it basically takes a lot of core out of the movement. You don't have to then use the core so much because it gives you more stability. So this, of course, when your feet are closer, it's a little bit harder. 5, right? And push up. Perfect. 1 more. Drop nice and low. Squeeze your butt on the way up. And 6. Perfect. Okay, and the last one is our club back lunge with 12 pounds overhead. Here we go. Perfect. And press. And 3. She has 3 more to go. So if you notice, she's moving consistently pretty fast throughout the whole circuit, but she's not really rushing like crazy through it because these exercises are still pretty complicated and they require a lot of stabilization, so you want to make sure you do them correctly so you don't get injured. So it's a nice steady pace, but they're hard enough and they use very big range. For most people like Courtney, you can use full range of motion, and they use enough muscle groups that your heart rate is going to go up very, very high. Perfect. Okay, so that's the end of the circuit, and we'll see you shortly for new videos again.